Et paf. Et rebonjour à tous. J'espère que vous m'entendez bien puisque nous passons via le stream de neomatamune qui va vous présenter une ordre incroyable et palpitante. Je serai à ses côtés pour pouvoir voir éventuellement vos questions si jamais on a des moments un peu complexes. Et puis évidemment donner les quelques informations casuales ou choses comme ça que je pourrais donner. Mais je vais laisser évidemment la parole à Néo qui va pouvoir vous...
Hi, it looks like we're ready to get started with the Illusion of Gaia.
Bonjour à tous. Hein.
Yep, it definitely does look that way.
Illusion of Gaia randomisé, donc...
Would y'all like to introduce yourselves and take it away?
Donc, Illusion of Time, Illusion of Gaia, c'est un des 3 jeux...
Yeah, I am Psy990. I am one of the moderators for the Illusion of Gaia randomizer, as well as a speedrunner of the vanilla game.
Illusion of Gaia et Terranigma.
And I have played much Illusion of Gaia in my days. It's one of the few SNES games I had near the end of the SNES's lifespan, and it was a very, very fun game. So I know in general the story and just how crazy it is to think about randomizing stuff, because it's fairly more linear than most RPGs at times.
Yes, this is a very linear game. You're basically going from point A to point B. There is very little backtracking, aside from a few items that can be missable. But other than that, yeah. This actually all started back last year in February when a guy by the name of Don't Bagumi hopped into the Quintet Discord asking if there was a possibility of this game being randomized. It was met with some skepticism because of how linear the game is, but he managed to prove us wrong, and here we are.
Et là, je dois récupérer 4 de ces statues qui me seront indiquées lesquelles sont les bonnes par un PNJ en jeu.
Now, things that are randomized, there are 50 red jewels, of course, that are placed completely random throughout there. All the key items. The statues are not randomized. There is an enemizer, though, which we are not playing with this mode. The abilities can be shuffled through dark spaces, so you could find a Freedan ability where you would find a Will ability and vice versa. You can also have different modes where you have early FireBird, which I believe Neo is showcasing today, where if you rescue Kara and have the crystal ring, you can have FireBird outside of the final battle, which is a fun little mechanic to have. You can destroy enemies from far away with Shadow, which is kind of nice if the game was ever mean to you as a kid.
Yeah, it's definitely a very powerful ability, FireBird, and having that early is just hilarious. The amount of just owning of things could possibly happen there.
Looks like Neo has gotten started, and he started off in Phrygia, which is the second town that you get to in the vanilla game.
Yep, and I see all those lovely cultists around. Those are very creepy cultists.
They're labor traders.
Yeah, labor.
Oh, I was using air quotes.
Now
you'll notice he just walked through the front door where that laborer was hiding. Now in the vanilla game you have to go, and of course, through the back way. But in the randomizer we decided it was, a nice little quality of life to unlock the front door for you. You'll notice he also went to the hidden trader there on the side. Now he's going to turn in the laborer for another red jewel. Like I said, there's 47 red jewel items. There's 45 individual. There's a 2 jewel pickup and a 3 jewel pickup. So he will be getting a lot of red jewels throughout the duration of the run.
And the red jewels allow you to get a few things from the red jewel trader. This isn't 100%, so you don't necessarily need all 50 because it's a bonus dungeon and hidden boss, which is actually a level from the original game of the trilogies.
Yeah, I always liked that they added Solid Arm, which I believe he was called Metal Mantis in Soul Blazer, but they called him Solid Arm in IOG. Now, the randomizer does randomize the amount of red jewels needed to get into the mansion. It's a lower amount for the normal difficulty, and as you go up higher in the difficulties, the amount increases. Also, the items that the jeweler has is completely randomized, so you will not find the normal items you would, such as the defense upgrade, the dark friar upgrade, in the jeweler's inventory.
Et ainsi de parler avec un des PNJ, avec plusieurs PNJ un peu partout dans le monde.
So right now, Neo's just going through South Cape. Oh, we have our statue check. 2, 4, 5, and 6. So he has Viper, Sandfinger, Mummy Queen, and Statue 6, which Statue 6 is accessible either through the Babel boss rush or by going through Solid Arm to get.
So that means that there is a chance that we will see the Soul Blazer mansion, if it is in fact the easier way to do it.
Yeah, now the logic will never force you to go through the mansion, but there are some of us, and myself included, who prefer to go through the mansion instead of the Babel boss rush. Now, it is worth noting that if he does do the mansion, he does lose out on the stat upgrades that he would get from Statue 6.
So it's a little bit of a trade. So it's a little bit of a trade-off as whether or not you want to get the quicker time or get the stat upgrades.
Yes, the way things are set up here is each boss covers a certain amount of dungeons. Cast off the first boss goes for the Edward's Prison and the Incan Ruins. The Viper has Diamond Mine and Sky Garden. But Statue 6, since we would consider that under the Babel boss rush, we place it under Angkor Wat as far as getting your upgrade. So if you wanted if you found the Force gems in Angkor Wat, you wouldn't have to do the boss rush. So yeah, like you said, it's a trade-off whether you want to go faster or if you want those upgrades for the final fight. Looks like Neo is going through the Incan Ruins now, so he'll just be doing a few checks here. Oh, he doesn't have the diamond block, so he's only got one check that he can do here, which is where the vanilla location is for the diamond block. Oh, you just saw him checking the map there, and there was a small little window that said Force on it. That Force window lets him know that there is a stat upgrade in here, which is why he's going through and clearing out the enemies. He's just trying to give himself a few extra stats to boost himself through the rest of this dungeon.
And he is definitely very, very well versed with the combat system in this game. He is, even though using or doing very minimal damage, he's able to stack hits really quick.
Will is your weakest character in the game. He's a starting character. He's also the weakest. But if you know how to do the jump attacks and his normal attacks in a proper fashion, you can stack the damage pretty quick. Another good thing about Will is his jump attack, while it does double damage, also gives him iframes. So you can also use it to dodge attacks. Alright, he's got one enemy left. He's going to clear that. It'll give him his stat boost, and it'll also... Oh, he's getting some health. That's nice to have. And that also opens up a staircase. Oh, just a red jewel. You're going to be seeing a lot of that. So be prepared
just
to see
a red jewel.
Yeah, you're going to get used to seeing a lot of, you found a red jewel.
Well, there's 50 of them compared to the other things that are necessary for progress.
Vu que j'ai une amélioration de vie qui m'a
Yeah, there's 50 red jewels, 12 herbs, and then the rest are key items, and there's not a lot of those.
Vous avez un espèce de système de vie qui est plutôt intéressant et bien pensé. Quand vous tuez un ennemi, vous avez des espèces de gemmes rouges.
Okay, something else that the Rando introduced into the game, like you see in Link to the Past, there are NPCs with hints. And you just saw that the guard that guards Kara told Neo that the elevator key for the diamond mine is in the Seaside Palace. And he just found a red jewel where the large roast leg of yak was, and a vanilla red jewel location by that guard. And now we're going to go into the prison cell to see what our good friend Hamlet has for us.
Poor Hamlet. It is piggy.
At least he doesn't get cooked in the randomizer.
That is true. Hashtag spoilers for a very old game.
And Hamlet's just going to give us a red jewel.
Alors l'avantage dans les randomizers, vous pouviez pas forcément faire ça dans les... Enfin, vous pouviez pas du tout faire ça d'ailleurs dans les...
So it appears that with the randomizer, you are able to utilize the save areas to return to the original city, it appears. Or is
Yes.
there more that will show up later?
To prevent any kind of soft locking, such as you wouldn't have been able to escape from that prison cell without the key, the randomizer allows you to teleport back to your original starting location. So he was able to go back to Phrygia from the dark space after he chose to save the file. And that works in if you do forced unsafe, which will start you off in any dungeon. It'll take you back to that dark space that you started in.
It's definitely a very intriguing way to prevent soft locks, which, as stated before, this game is very linear, so soft locking would be the major reason why there was the question whether or not a randomizer could be done.
Soit un objet qui est considéré comme étant de la progression par la logique.
Yeah, we just didn't know if it would be possible because of that, because of the linearity of the game, and how travel between the continents would be made possible. So that's where a certain amount of key items come in, such as the teapot, the will, Lola's letter, and the memory melody come into play. The memory melody, as you know from the vanilla game, helps Lance get his memory back, but in the randomizer, it helps Neil remember how to fly his plane, because it's kind of important to remember how to fly a plane before you hop in one. The will does pretty much the same thing as it does in the vanilla game. It allows you transport between Watermia, which is the city that Neo is in right now, and Euro. And Lola's letter teaches you Morse code, which allows you to go between South Cape, Diamond Coast, and Watermia. The teapot will rescue the Moon Tribe on the South Continent, which gives you access to Sky Garden and the Seaside Palace. So there are multiple ways to travel between areas, which is real nice because it also adds fun to a lot of routing, especially if you are running in the open mode version of the game, which sounds kind of weird because it's now in open mode no matter what.
Là, des fois, on va garder, je pense notamment aux champignons que tu as reçus il y a un bout de temps maintenant.
Right now, Neo is in Angel Village. He's going into dark spaces. He's trying to find some ability for will. And Oh, looks like he's going to go back into that dark space. He's probably going to go back to Phrygia, maybe.
Donc, je vais commencer.
Yep, going back to Phrygia.
Et quitte à faire des donjons, autant commencer par les donjons.
He may be going into the diamond mine now.
Là, j'avais 2 donjons juste à côté de là où j'étais, mais j'ai préféré revenir à mon point de départ. Pour,
No, looks like he's going to go into Sky Garden.
Et je vais commencer par le Sky Garden, qui est le deuxième donjon du jeu. Parce que j'ai...
Sky Garden was one of my favorite dungeons growing up. This one and Angkor Wat were my 2 favorites. He's going to start
Sky
off with room.
Garden is so good, but it's also confusing with the way that you have to do the upside down parts of it.
Yeah, I always thought that was a fun idea that they tried. It when you really think about it, it's a little off in its mirroring, but still, it was a good idea. Now, he's going to do room 3 first. And the reason he's going to do room 3 first is he's going to do something that's called a ramp glitch, where he's going to perform a jump attack on a ramp, and it's going to allow him to clear it because it's a one-tile ramp. Now, if it was in a standard ramp that you see will run and then leap long distances from, it would allow him to build up ramp speed from the bottom, and you don't have to run around to get to the top. He also just did another little clip there that you'll see the speedrunners do, where he did a jump attack and landed on top of the pillars that block that switch, which normally you would need Freedan for with the Dark Friar, but we don't have Dark Friar now, so you have to do that jump attack to access that dark space.
And now he's doing a death warp.
Yeah, he's doing the death warp to make it a little faster to get back to the beginning. Also, something to note that there are. Ooh, well,
there's an upgrade.
Oh, and he gets Slider here. I bet he is so happy he did room 3 first, because the problem with Slider is it cancels out being able to do a normal attack after running. You'll go straight into the slide. Now, and I had actually found this out. It is there's a frame perfect input you can do to still get the ramp glitch, but as I said, it's a frame perfect input on the attack, so it's easier just to do that room first before you have Slider.
Donc ça me permet de nettoyer relativement simplement tous les ennemis devant moi. Mais
quand tu fais la glissade, t'es invincible aussi, donc pour le coup, c'est plutôt pas mal.
Alright, well now he's in room 4. So I can go for the dark space up here, see if maybe he can find Friar up here.
Friar would definitely be helpful. If I recall correctly, Friar is one of the upgrades for Freedan.
Yes, it's the first ability that you get for Freedan, and it is, in a speedrun sense, the only ability that you truly need to clear the game. Freedan has 3 abilities: Dark Friar, Aura Barrier, and Earthquaker. Earthquaker has use in Angkor Wat just to clear one area because it has a golem, as I call him, that blocks your path unless you use Earthquaker. Aura Barrier doesn't really have any use per se. You can use it to clear enemies that are swarming you. However, the randomizer has found a use for it in Sky Garden. One of the playtesters found that if you stood in a certain position in the room 4, you could activate the sword statue to gain progress to get to the 2 chests without having Dark Friar.
Is this Dark Friar?
No, it is Aura Barrier, and you can see the look on his face. He is not happy about that.
Aura Barrier is the most worthless of his abilities, even in a casual play.
Yeah, he was not excited to see that. He knows what he has to do now. So you all will get to see what I was just talking about with Aura Barrier having use in the rando, and this is the only time you're going to see it have actual use.
Littéralement à rien. À partir du moment où on l'a, il n'y a aucun emplacement dans le jeu qui nécessite de l'utiliser.
Yeah, and you'll notice he isn't death warping out of here because he needs to stay as Friedan. So he's just going to take the long way around to get to the area in room 4 where he needs to be.
Friedan va déployer en gros des boucliers qui vont tournoyer autour de lui. Sauf que la portée est...
We can see in chat somebody's already yelling at the creator, whose name is, we all call him Bagu.
Voilà, c'est pas forcément très très utile de l'avoir et de l'utiliser.
Hashtag
Yes,
always blame
but-
Bagu.
But do you know Error?
Où elle pouvait servir.
I do. I know him quite well.
C'est pour ça que je suis revenu en arrière.
Zelda 2 jokes never get old.
Et juste attendre que cette attaque.
Alright, and here we see him using Aura Barrier. There is just enough room that Aura Barrier activates that sword.
Et de pouvoir avancer dans cette région. Là où normalement dans le jeu de base.
Yeah, that is a very tight window for Aura Barrier there.
On peut venir par ici.
I mean, you could tell that it barely touched.
Et ça fait gagner du ça me fait gagner du temps parce que j'aurais pas à revenir.
Yeah, it gets it on like the last few pixels that Aura Barrier has to contact anything.
Je n'ai pas pu aller chercher l'objet dans la région où j'ai eu justement Aura Barrière. Parce que seul Dark Friar permet de le faire.
Okay, so a hieroglyph and a red jewel. So he's just going to death warp out now because he can't. There's one more room that he could do. He can't clear out room 2 because he doesn't have Dark Friar. So now he's going to get rid of the red jewels that he has just to save some inventory space. Oh, I should talk about that. Inventory management is real big in this game. Normally, in a casual playthrough, if you're playing the vanilla game, you don't really notice it. But in the randomizer, because you only have a limited amount of slots in your inventory, you have to be cautious as to what you have. So you're always trying to route in places where you can use items. Like if he had some of the crystal balls, he could drop them off while he was here to get them out of his inventory. If he was in Mew, he could use the statues of hope. So you're always looking at your inventory, hoping that you don't run out of space.
That's a good pickup there.
Yeah, that's a required item. That's not a required item. He does not have statue 3 to contend with, so he does not have to fight the vampires. Something else that was added in is if, let's say, statue 3 isn't required like it is now, or statue 5, which is Mummy Queen. You could, if you wanted to, remove those key items, the Rama statues and the hieroglyphs, from your inventory. So you could drop them like you would a normal item like an herb. Now, the ink and gold statues, you cannot drop those whether it's a required item or not, because there is an item on the gold ship. The game will never allow that to happen. It will never allow you to drop the items from your inventory.
Yeah, I never really noticed the inventory management near as much in this game, probably because one of the other SNES games I had was Earthbound, which had way more inventory management even in the casual run.
Dans le randomizer, si vous avez un peu de chance...
Yeah, each character only having a certain amount of space so they can carry items does make you conscious of what you have and what you can do.
Même si dans la globalité, on doit quand même visiter l'entièreté de la mine pour...
Alright, well, we see Neo now in Diamond Mine. He was looking for an ability to break the walls. Now, normally when you're here, you only have Psycho Dash, and Psycho Dash is what you use to break the statues and break walls. However, it seems any will ability will break walls, like you just saw.
That is
Now,
very good.
Now, I will take this time right here. This was one of the, I guess I'll call it bugs that I had found when we were first playing the game. There wasn't any collision stop on that breakable wall, and I ended up using Slider. Oh, well, Kara is in the diamond mine.
Then he's in the right place for Karen.
Yes, now he just needs the elevator key, which we know is in the Seaside Palace, and the 2 mine keys, along with the magic powder. And we'll also get to see one of the most important NPCs in the game, which is Samlet. We'll talk about him when we get there. But as far as the bugs go, that, as I was saying, that wall didn't have any real collision detection, so I ended up sliding past the barrier and getting stuck in that wall. So we had to add a little bit of a stop there so that you didn't end up running or sliding through and getting stuck. One of my few contributions to the randomizer.
I mean, somebody's got a bug test, right?
Yeah, if it's going to be broken, might as well be me. I guess I should talk about what Neo is doing while he's opening and closing his menu while that destruction orb is going on. It's what we call the orb cancel glitch. While that orb is in the air, if you go into your menu and then back out, it removes the collision detection for whatever that orb is about to destroy, and you can simply walk through it. Oh, we have another ability here. What are we going to get?
Come on, Dark Friar.
Oh, we got French Vanilla Friar here. Normally you'd find Friar in the dark space behind the breakable wall, but we found it here instead.
So, same dungeon, but slightly different location.
Yep, that good old French Vanilla. That also allows him to do one more check in here. He's going to play it safe, which I don't blame him. He's only got 2 HP left, and these enemies can hurt if they hit him. So yeah, he's going to be playing it a little safe here, trying to make it through just to get that one last check. I don't blame him one bit. And now he's going to kill this last worm and see what this... Oh, he's going to kill a few more enemies.
And yes, Queen and Ebb in chat, yes, this is indeed a randomizer.
I think she was asking because of the Dark Friar location.
I know, but it even though it's sort of vanilla, it's still a randomizer. You can always have the vanilla locations. It's less chance, but it's...
Yeah, I always like to make fun of when I find a red jewel in a vanilla location.
I mean, it's way more common to find like a red jewel in vanilla location than anything else. And now he's going back to Skyguard now that he's got Dark.
Yep, he's going to go back to room 2 and do the last clear here. Looks like he's going to go into room 3 and... not sure what he's going for here. I see what he's doing. He's doing a little shortcut to get to the dark space. The reason he's doing it this way is because he has sliders, so he can't easily do the ramp glitch. So he's having to take a little bit of a detour to get over here.
C'est des fois un peu le seul inconvénient qu'on a dans les randomizers.
Oui, c'est qu'on trouve parfois des techniques à des endroits un peu gênants parce que les dark space sont 2 types. On a les dark space de transformation qui, eux, sont ceux qu'on a en permanence.
As far as items go, the the game hasn't been too kind to him. He's found a lot of red jewels, a few herbs, and some transportation methods, but not much in the way of key items.
Et là, vu que j'espérais avoir.
That is unfortunate, but I mean, as with any sort of randomizer, just because it hasn't dropped anything decent as far as that goes yet, does not mean he won't suddenly wind up getting only those items.
Yeah, anytime I do a randomizer, I do not want it to be nice to me very early in the game, because that always means that it's going to be super trolly towards the end.
Yeah, if you're doing a randomizer, you'd rather be not trolled at the end, because that's typically where you want to be just going straight as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, and this game loves to throw one final item in just an odd spot. Oh, something else to mention here is you'll notice there aren't any fanfares when items are picked up, especially key items. That's something else that I have found out, and I'm still not quite sure how I managed to do it. It was just a matter of perfect inputs. When the fanfare was going, I opened up my menu, used an item, and walked out in a very quick succession, and it caused the game to panic and not load any other audio tracks. I also couldn't access my menu until I had entered a dark space, which caused the game to load in another track, and then it worked just fine. So we had to remove the fanfare to prevent that from happening.
One of those lovely little things that they probably didn't even realize would have been a glitch in the OG game, because, you know, we weren't breaking it that hard.
Yeah, there's always just somebody out there who's just willing to do whatever they can to break the game.
I believe the phrase you're looking for is speedrunner.
Yeah, we tend to do that. Alright, but we have Neo here in Great Wall. Another fun dungeon. These enemies hurt a little more than the enemies in Diamond Mine. You saw him pick up one of the necklace stones. That's also in the randomized item pool. And it looked like he had gotten a red jewel from that. He's going to check this. Look, that's another red jewel. And there will be one more necklace stone and one more treasure chest that he can grab here. Plus, there are a couple more dark spaces he can also look at to see if he can find Spin Dash, which is the other will ability that he is looking for.
You got a red jewel off that necklace.
Yeah, you can see Neo hesitating there a little bit. He was waiting for that snake to get into the doorway so that he could do an attack into the stairway or into the doorway, and that attack carries through and allows him to pass through the snake without taking damage. Oh, he's going to check this. Let's see here. Oh, gives him an herb, so he's going. Yep, he's going to use that to replenish his health. Let's see. Is he going to do the slider glitch? He does. If you hold the attack button after that second ramp, it will queue up the slider attack and it will stop you from continuing to jump, and you can access this area earlier than you normally would. Normally you would have to transform into Free Dan to get down here, but with slider you can stop the jump early and check this area out. Nope. Looks like Neo's going to take an arrow to the face there, and now the samurai is blocking his way into the dark space. Looks like he's going to do a little revenge killing here, just to get him out of his way. And let's see if we have anything in here. Nope, just a normal transformation dark space.
Une compétence pour Will, mais malheureusement, ce n'est pas le cas. Ce n'est pas grave. Ça me permet de me transformer.
The fact that you mentioned that it's a bit of a glitch to get down here early, I actually remember accidentally having done that many times. As a young adult coming back to this game, just seeing what what was so good about it, because it's got such a good story overall, and I'm still pretty sad that they never brought Terranigma, the third game in the series, to the United States.
Comme pour la plupart des...
Yeah, the US missed out on one of the great RPGs because of that. But we have English patches now. So at least we can enjoy it that way. You see Neo here working his way through the statues. If you're close enough and you do an attack in the opposite direction, it'll just push the statue through you. It's no big deal. What are hitboxes anyway?
I mean, considering that I'm a Castlevania runner, that's kind of actually pretty normal for hitboxes in a lot of games, where they will extend out the back of your sprite sometimes when you're doing an attack, which is always fun to see what ways it can be.
Donc là, pour pouvoir faire apparaître le Dark Space de ce niveau, je dois tuer tous ces archers.
Now we see Neo clearing out all these samurais. And speaking of hitboxes, they have an odd hitbox where their back isn't covered in their hitbox and you can stand in it. But he was clearing all of those out to... Oh, and we do have an ability in this dark space. Let's hope it's Spin Dash for him. That way he can finish out this dungeon.
Le Psycho Dash et le Spin Dash. Et...
No, it is Psycho Dash. So he's still on the hunt for a will ability.
devoir revenir plus tard dans ce donjon. Mais l'avantage que j'ai, c'est que...
And as you said before, Psycho Dash was the one that was originally in the regular vanilla game intended for the use in the diamond to break those walls. So the fact that you have it now is not really all that helpful.
Je sais que je n'ai pas besoin de l'apprendre.
No, Psycho Dash becomes irrelevant as soon as you have Slider or Spin Dash.
La dernière technique de Freedan, c'est une technique qu'on appelle...
But we see Neo going into Angel Village. Now that he has Slider, he can clear the little mini dungeon at the back here, which has a fun little puzzle at the end that the randomizer also has fun with. So if you have the vanilla answers memorized, you're going to have a fun time because it doesn't use the vanilla answers. It randomizes everything.
Randomized puzzles. Oh, fun.
Oh, yes, it's very fun. Especially when one of them is a very trolly addition by the creator, because he just likes to watch the world burn.
Je privilégierais ce cas-là pour la simple et bonne raison qu'on inflige beaucoup plus de dégâts sous la...
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of hoping Neo gets it because I'd love to show it.
Yeah, it seems like the chat is also hoping for the troll.
Où est censé être utilisée la technique.
Oh, chat's always hoping for the troll.
De Freedan qui peut être utilisée à la place. Ça demande un placement particulier, mais...
Got those weirdo graboids from the lovely movie Tremors making their cameo.
D'utiliser l'Earthquaker, ben, je l'éviterai.
You know, I never thought of them that way. Now I'm not going to be able to see anything else.
Le dernier intérêt du slider, c'est de pouvoir passer dans ces petits espaces étroits.
And yes, Queen, the French voice is the original run.
Yeah, you'll most likely hear Neo if there's a little bit of a silence break between Disson and myself talking.
Et dans certaines seeds, quand on a beaucoup de vie et de défense, on va pouvoir setup un Death Warp, bah parfois on est piégé parce que ces ennemis nous lâchent un full regen.
Yeah, and a little bit of history on why we're restreaming and doing English commentary. The Baguette Restream channel that we are pulling this from, they are the people who typically do the French restream for all of the Midwest Speedfest events. Midwest Speedfest, Midwinter Speed Sprinter, Midfall Speedball, and Mid-Spring Speed Fling for the last couple of years. So we have gone and given them the English restream for them in reparations and help, since it's been many marathons that they've done restreams in French for our American streams.
On voit que l'un des deux pots a changé de couleur. La troisième salle.
Now we see Neo going through the puzzle here. It didn't have the one change that I was hoping it did. The first room, there is a pot on the top right, and the creator decided to move that pot one tile to the left and see if you notice that anything had changed. And it has caused much confusion to new runners because you don't really expect it, because the color's still the same. It's still in the same general area. And so the room looks exactly the same. So you'll go back and forth a few times before you finally realize that one item has been moved just slightly to the left.
Normalement, dans le jeu de base, c'était l'emplacement où justement il y avait le portrait de Kara. Et vous étiez censé justement utiliser la poudre pour pouvoir.
But we did manage to find the will and a crystal ball. So we have a couple of key items here. We have more movement progression. Like I said, the will allow us to move between Watermia and Euro. And of course, the crystal ball gets us one step closer to fighting Viper, which is one of the required statues. So not a bad little route in for Neo. Oh, we're getting one check here for the jeweler. The New Palace Key is, or the Seaside Palace Key as it's called in the vanilla game, is 31 red jewels. So he's one red jewel away from that, which he will most likely find in Euro, unless the game just decides to not give him a red jewel.
Je n'ai pas de statue pour aller dedans. Je vais laisser le donjon de côté pour l'instant.
There are 4 required statues in here. He was given 2, 4, 5, and 6.
Vous avez 3 étages d'eau et vous deviez trouver des statues pour justement rabaisser le niveau de l'eau, etc.
The old wait in the line in Euro. Now, you'll notice that the NPCs are moving a lot faster. That was sped up in the randomizer and is so nice. Otherwise,
I noticed that they're a little bit faster. I'm just like, wait a minute, this is not as agonizing as I.
Ooh, Aura and the crystal ball.
Oh yeah.
So he now has access to Shadow, as well as another crystal ball for Viper. But yes, that little shopping area normally takes about 2 minutes to go all the way through. So having that go through in less than a minute is so nice. Oh, we're going to go to the secret house here. Oh, there's his diamond block. Now, in the
Nice.
vanilla game, that house has a strength upgrade. So if you're ever playing casual and you want another strength boost, you can get one right there.
Pour un boss qui est chronométré. Donc c'est loin d'être une.
Oh, and there's the large roast, which we will give to the natives in the native village, and that gives us access to Dao. We have access to everywhere except for Babel because we do not have the memory melody.
Donc j'ai eu le testament, le will tout à l'heure, qui me permet justement de passer de Watermia à Euro, ce que je viens de faire.
And it also looks like Euro decided to not give him a red jewel. So I think I kind of cursed him on that one. But he did find a lot of other good items.
À Dao, la dernière ville du jeu. Et avec ça, j'aurais fait toute.
Going straight for Natives Village. Not a bad choice. He's got a dark space here. He can check for an ability. Plus, there's an item that he can grab. And the hut on the right. If he had the Gorgon Flower, there was one other check that he could do. But this will also give him access to Dao. And it's just an herb. So he's got a few of those now. Oh, yep, here we go to Dao. So we have a few things we can do here. Now, that guy that gives you the 2 items also allows you for access back to Natives Village. That was something that wasn't originally done in the randomizer, but was done later on, just to help with movement between the... Oh, Killer 6 has... the Killer 6, for those who don't know, is a 6-pack of orbs at the bottom of one of the rooms in the pyramid. And we call it the Killer 6 because it's a good way to die in the speed run. That has killed many a run, so we decided to call them Killer 6. But yes. The NPC at the beginning who hands you those 2 items, that was a few versions ago added in, just to make transportation easier between some of the areas.
Et donc Killer 6, c'est une des salles qui n'est pas forcément...
We see Neo doing the Snake Panic here. And this is also randomized as to the amount of time you have plus the amount of snakes you have to hit. You have more time on the lower difficulties. You get up into hard and extreme and you have maybe 20 seconds to hit 35 snakes. So, yeah, that was something that was, oh, hey, this might be a good idea, and it got implemented.
Je vais quand même y aller pour poser quelques objets, parce que j'ai 3 hiéroglyphes en plus. Voilà, vous voyez.
And he did get Shadow earlier, I believe. So he can do the pyramid.
Yeah, he has Shadow, so he can do everything here. Oh, and he gets a vanilla defense upgrade. Is this even randomized? Well, we've got Neo just randomly placing the hieroglyphs into the slots just to clear out inventory. You'll see a lot of us do that because you can't get rid of them unless, you do that, or if you don't have Statue 5 required. But since it is, can't necessarily discard those items. So we'll see Neo here turning into Shadow and doing some pyramid checks. Now, the pyramid is kind of scary because these enemies hit like trucks. So he will be taking it pretty cautiously through here, I would assume, even with the 1 defense upgrade.
Donc Shadow, sa capacité principale, c'est de pouvoir se...
Now we see him going for an item that is easily missed because you don't know that you can aura down right there. Oh, and he gets Lola's Melody. Oh, and you can just see his reaction there. He was excited to see that because he also has the necklace that he can give to Lily in Itori Village, and that allows full clear of the prison along with access to the item that's in the coffin. Now, he's going into room 5 first, And he's going to grab the couple of items here, and that bird soldier was not kind to him, and you can just see how much damage it did to him, even on the normal difficulty with the defense upgrade. Like I said, they hit like trucks.
Yeah, I was never a fan of this dungeon. Enemies, anyway. Oh, prison.
Oh yeah, yep, he was excited for that one too. Now he has full access to that. Yep, he's gonna go in there. He's gonna do a health refill and then go back at it. Can't say I blame him for that because he's gonna have to go right past that same bird soldier again. Oh no, he's going to go back to Phrygia. He's probably gonna go to Edward's prison now or to Southgate to grab Lily and clear the rest of that out because he does have the prison key. He does have the necklace, which will give him Lily. He also has a diamond block, which will give him access to all of the Incan ruins. So, I can agree with his routing. That's not a bad choice to make. We'll see if it pays off for him.
And if I did recall correctly, he did get one more red jewel, so at any point he can get the key for the Mu Palace.
Yeah, he did get that final red jewel for that, so he can go there as soon as he grabs that item from the jeweler.
Les habitants du village savent qu'on est quelqu'un de bien et nous révèlent le village.
Now Will's just gonna play a little song on his flute and make Aitori Village appear. There are 2 items he can grab, plus Lily, and a dark space that could possibly have Spin Dash, which let's see if it does or if it doesn't. We're gonna go in here. He's gonna pick up Lily, which I'm pretty sure Lance is not happy about that. And no ability in this dark space, so he's still going to be hunting. As soon as he finds Spin Dash, you won't be seeing him. Oh, Angkor Wat has his journal. Ooh. The Father's Journal is how you tell the position that the hieroglyphs need to be in, because that is also randomized. So, Rip having the vanilla locations memorized, because that is not the case in the rando.
I mean, with a game that's very puzzle-based like this for solutions, you would definitely assume that they are just going to be random.
Je reviens dans le château pour me faire jeter en prison à nouveau. Mais
yeah, and it adds a little extra fun to the game, not being able to just speed through. You know, oh, I know the order that these go in. Not anymore. One other thing that got randomized is the gold tile location in the Incan ruins. So you do have to have the Wind of Melody to fight Castoff and grab the item that's behind him.
Notamment quand il y a des forces ou des choses comme ça, ça peut aller assez vite. En plus avec la glissade.
Avec la glissade, je one-shot presque tous les ennemis.
Now we are here in Edward's prison. Going to be checking a few items. Hoping that we can find some more progression here. There won't be an ability here in the logic that Neo is using. If he was using either beatable or chaos logic, there is a chance that there would be an ability in the dark space that you would normally turn into Friedan in. But since it's completable, it allows for full access to all dungeons. We'll just see what we have in here, and oh, he found a force gem in here, so he's going to be clearing out the enemies as well. Got to get those stat upgrades.
Avant d'entrer dedans, en me disant si jamais Kara est dedans, ça peut être gênant. Mais non, là, je sais où elle est. Ah,
Oh, and he trolled himself with that spear. I know he was feeling that. He almost got to go through the quick spear area, but did the jump attack and it pushed him back.
j'ai pas beaucoup de défense. donc-
Oh, and there's one of his mine keys. So that puts him one item closer to rescuing Kara.
Clé de la mine.
Oh, nice. Strength upgrade. That'll come in handy.
Alors, il y a 3 clés dans la mine. Il y en a une qui permet d'activer l'ascenseur qui permet d'accéder à la deuxième partie de la mine. Et
Being able to hit more is always good.
obtenir 2 autres clés qui vous permettent d'accéder sur les 2 autres sous-niveaux, entre guillemets, et donc d'accéder à la fin du donjon.
Neo showing off they're using slider to hit the switch, timing it just right.
Je ne retournerai pas dans la mine avant d'avoir. Enfin, je retournerai une fois que j'ai la clé de l'ascenseur, parce qu'elle me donne 2 objets. Mais je ne retournerai pas une fois que j'ai les 3 clés. Je ne retournerai pas tout de suite. Je vais d'abord attendre d'avoir la poudre.
And he opts to go with Shadow instead of Freedan because, you know, why not? Why not let Shadow have a little more playtime?
Le problème de s'être échauffé, c'est qu'on mélange les seeds. Mais non, je n'ai pas encore eu l'indice de la poudre magique, donc.
There
Shadow
are
does not get enough playtime.
Dans la mine, qu'une fois que j'ai.
no, you don't get him until the final dungeon.
Soit en n'ayant que la clé de la
So
Mais
it's nice to be able to run around as him and
à moins de ne pas.
just straight demolish enemies.
Je ne retournerai pas.
Gonna be taking, you know,
Clé pour faire
escorting that little spike around. Alright, there are 2 more items that we can grab in here. We'll see if we find anything of value.
parce que je devrais y retourner encore une fois.
Oh, a defense jewel is good to find, so he can take a little more when he gets hit.
Et j'arrive au fond du château.
And now, of course, we can't be running through the rest of the castle as Shadow, so we'll have to transform back into Will. Oh, the Purification Stone. Now he's really going to be going back to that jeweler to grab the key, now that he has that.
Très bon choix de direction.
He now can full clear the Seaside Palace, so I'm going to say that's going to be his next thing after the Incan Ruins, or he may go straight there.
J'hésite beaucoup. Parce que j'ai pas mal d'endroits où je peux aller. Je vais commencer par retourner dans les ruines Inca, histoire de récupérer tous les objets que je peux.
Yeah, I figured he'd go here since he was already on the South Continent. Let's see what we find here. There's a couple of chances to... there's one chance to find a dark space within a building, unless he finds the wind melody in here. Then there's 2. So we're going to drop the diamond block and continue on through the dungeon.
Pour pouvoir combattre les vampires, mais n'ayant pas à les combattre, je peux détruire cette statue sans
Oh, and he gets really good RNG on those block falls.
me mettre en danger pour la suite. La seule chose que je vais faire ici, c'est que je vais. Enfin, les seuls ennemis que je vais tuer.
Yeah, and you'll see him clearing out certain enemies to open up the ladders, just in case he does have to come back here. I'm going to say that he's going to be hoping that he doesn't, but you never know. The game could be mean like that. And you notice that he was breaking those statues with Slider instead of Psycho Dash. Yeah, the game is coded in a way that it's looking for Will to use an ability on them, not necessarily Psycho Dash, but just any ability in general.
Alors là, normalement, on va tuer la statue qui est ici cachée par des blocs. Mais vous avez de la chance. Nous sommes dans le...
Alright, we'll see him going for where the vanilla location for the wind melody would be. And also where he'll turn into Freedan to be able to gain access to the rest of the dungeon. Now, if he did have Slider, he could do a sequence break to clear that flying head. But since he has Slider, he can't do the run attack now. Then he'll have to come up over here and transform into Freedom, which isn't a big deal. You have to come over here anyway to check the item. So it's not like you're really losing time by having to come in here.
Donc, dans ce Dark Space, je vais aller me...
No, but it's probably just a fun little sequence break.
C'est là où des choses bizarres vont commencer à arriver.
Again, he's choosing Shadow.
Normalement, Shadow...
Yep, Shadow has a little bit of a longer reach than Freedan does. And he hits a little harder too.
Alors dans le jeu classique, Shadow, normalement, vous l'obtenez à partir du moment où vous arrivez dans la pyramide, soit le dernier...
You saw him hit that one enemy to open up a set of stairs so that he has a way back. And let's see. Is it going to be another red jewel?
Mais là, vu qu'on peut potentiellement l'avoir dès le début du jeu, si on a de la chance, ben, on peut l'avoir dans tous les donjons. Et ici, comment dire,
Always a red jewel.
je n'avais jamais pensé qu'on pourrait l'avoir là, donc il interagit bizarrement. Donc pour l'instant, c'est à peu près le même chemin que si j'étais venu chercher.
It always just seems like the SNES, they have so many of these waiting puzzles in games and RPGs. It's quite interesting.
Et voilà. Je suis en bas du donjon.
Yeah, and also, for those of you who are paying attention, you'll notice that Neo just said something very weird with Shadow. Shadow doesn't know how to properly climb ladders. The way the game is coded, it's looking for a certain animation when you hit the top or bottom of a ladder, and it doesn't always line up with Shadow's animation. So if you catch it at just the right spot, you can just straight climb down a wall and access another area. So that's what Neo did there to gain him a little bit of time. It also looks cool in the process, if you get it. Oh, and there's one of our It's Empty chests. There are two of those. Both those you would normally find in Mew to show you kind of where you'll find the key items there. But there's one of the two. And no ability there, so he is done with Inca.
Alors on va aller voir ce qu'il se passe. Alors normalement dans la salle qui arrive, on est censé utiliser la flûte de Will pour jouer une mélodie. Donc il faut déjà avoir la mélodie en question, qui va illuminer l'une des 72 cases de cette salle.
Looks like he's showing off the gold tile room. Oh, is he going? Oh, looks like he's going to do it. If you stand in the corner, like in the four corners like he's doing now, and you wait there for 10 seconds, you can activate all four of those tiles. And it looks like he's going to be playing the guessing game as to which tile is the correct one. That's a bold move on his part. Let's see if it pays off soon.
J'utilise le timer sur le restream pour faire les 10 secondes.
Remind me again where it was that he could possibly have found the answer to.
The only way to know is to use the wind melody, which we don't have right now. He hasn't found it yet. So he is going through, standing in the middle of those four statues, or those four, sorry, I was looking at his tracker, those four tiles to see if he can quickly grab the proper tile. So he has no way of knowing which one unless he has the wind melody. So he's just pure guessing right now as to where it is.
I mean, the other option is hunting for the wind melody, and nobody wants to do that.
Donc voilà, c'est chaque ligne prend à peu près 1 minute, plus ou moins le temps de se placer sur chaque tuile.
Now, he's also only doing this for a dark space access that may or may not have an ability in it. So this is quite the gamble that he's doing right now.
Et pas avoir à faire 10 secondes sur l'une, puis sur l'autre, puis sur l'autre. Parce que sinon, ça prend plus 12 minutes que 3 minutes.
He's gone through the first row, or the first 2 rows. Now he's working on the second 2. Hasn't found it yet. Oh, then we move on to the next set of 4. He's got to be in the right spot so that he does hit all of them. You want to be a little more onto the back 2 than the front 2. The detection kind of moves a little further to the back side of the squares. So that's why you'll see him a little more towards the back 2 squares instead of the front 2.
C'est pour ça que je vais faire plein de petits placements pour essayer de me mettre bien horizontalement sur tout.
Oh yeah, he will be very mad if it's vanilla.
Et tout ce que j'espère, c'est que je me suis pas planté sur mes placements et que je suis pas passé par-dessus la tuile correspondante.
He'll be mad, and we'll all be just enjoying in the assault that will happen because of that. Now, Neo did ask me to give him the seed number for this rando, so I will be the one he blames if it's in the vanilla location. And I am perfectly okay with that.
I was waiting for that. Yes, I'm okay with him blaming me because the salt.
Donc je n'ai fait que la moitié des cases.
Ah, dommage.
Je crois que je me suis trompé. C'est pas grave. Bon, j'ai encore quelques cases disponibles. Hein.
Yeah, and hopefully he is waiting out the full 10 seconds. If he moves slightly early at all, and he's there, if he's there for 9.5 seconds, it's not going to count. So he's going to be really hoping that he did not move early or he was standing in the right spot. All right, we're in the vanilla area now. It would be the one to his top left if it was.
9, 10. Et je crois que
It looks like he did miss it unless it's right here. He probably missed it or he moved a little too soon on one of the spots.
Et oui, je me suis trompé sur les lignes du haut.
Oh, that's bad. Oh, all that time he just spent. Oof.
Mais bon, j'ai tenté. C'était plus pour la blague qu'autre chose. Si je ne m'étais pas trompé, je me suis bel et bien trompé d'un pixel. Maintenant, je.
Now he'll be.
That is a major time loss.
Yeah, it is. Oh. Yeah, he's not happy with that one.
18 fois. Enfin, 18 fois si on n'a pas de chance. Une fois si...
I would expect him to... Well, he doesn't have the palace key yet. So he may grab it while he's in Angel Village. Let's see what he does.
Donc, on a perdu du temps. J'ai de la place.
Oh, looks like he just remembered. Yep, he's going to go in here and talk to the jeweler. Now, the only thing the jeweler has left is access to the mansion, and I did not see what the amount of red jewels required for that was. Usually it's low 40s when it's on
Yeah,
normal difficulty.
it looked like a low 40s.
Avec tout ce que j'ai, ça prend de la place.
All right, he'll check the dark space first. Hope the ability's in here. And nope, no ability here, so he's still on the hunt for that spin dash.
Dans le palais zombie, le Seaside Palace, donc c'est un palais qui est maudit actuellement.
You'll notice his inventory is kind of full right now. He's got a few herbs in there. He's got some other items. So he's going to have to start figuring out where he wants to go to drop some of these items off to alleviate some of that, because he has... Oh, he's going to discard an herb. Okay. And he still has a few others, so he's okay with doing that.
Mais l'avantage, c'est que le palais qui est normalement un peu loin quand même sur le trajet, bah là je vais le faire qu'une fois. Parce que j'ai tous les objets pour le clear. Donc j'ai donné le colis à Lily.
So he will most likely go for the coffins first. The coffin in the middle will give you a hint as to an item. You always hope that it does not tell you what the item is in the other coffin. We've had that happen before. Oh, Babel has his last crystal ball, so Memory Melody is required for that. That's going to be fun hunting that down.
L'avantage, c'est que j'ai encore un objet qui me permet de l'utiliser tout de suite.
Now he's going to equip the Purification Stone and rescue all the monsters that you see here, which are NPCs. Oh, he's going to try to get the attack through the door, and he gets it. That way those enemies don't hurt him. And now, time to save everyone that's here. I wonder how many people felt bad going through here, killing all these enemies, and then realizing that all those enemies were people and not monsters.
Those people later played Silent Hill and realized the same thing and were like, oh no, same mistake again.
Mais en pratique, on préfère quand il est rempli de monstres. Les monstres, on peut passer au travers. Les gens, beaucoup moins. Et on va aller voir le PNJ le plus cool.
Good old Silent Hill.
Affectionneusement Buffy. En hommage à Buffy.
Alright, now that we have purified the area, there's one more item that we can grab, and we have lovingly named this NPC Buffy because there's his memory melody. He now has access to get that crystal ball. But we named that NPC Buffy because in the vanilla game, he steals the palace key from the vampire. Has enough courage to pickpocket a vampire, but still leaves us to finish them off. Yeah, he's a good guy like that.
Du Sky Garden, et du coup on se crache dans l'océan suite à ça.
Alright, now like I said at the beginning, the memory melody is now used to allow Neil to remember how to fly his airplane, because we don't want him flying blind. Oh, and Neo accidentally exited out. So now he's got to go back in.
J'ai pu faire mon menu pour revenir ici sans que le menu s'affiche, parce qu'il est disponible un peu avant. Et en connaissant le menuing nécessaire, on peut...
You'll also see that Neil gives you access to Dow, Euro, and as well as Tower of Babel. So if he didn't have the other items that he had, Neil would be his best way to travel around. But we're going to go over here. Oh, crystal ring. Sorry, not crystal ball. I saw crystal and thought it said crystal ball. That gives him. Or wait, oh, there's a crystal ball. It was hidden in the flute the entire time. He just didn't know he had it on him.
Yeah, I thought the flute weighed a little bit more.
So the question here, oh, he's gonna do the boss rush. Can't say I blame him. I mean, you have access to it right now. Granted, doesn't have a lot of health, but he has a +2 to his defense, and he'll be running around as Shadow. So not a bad decision to make, as long as the bosses are kind to him, which I'm pretty sure he's praying for right now.
C'est les versions 2 du coup des boss.
This was kind of Quintet Enix's tip of the hat to Capcom. Got to have a boss rush. And he gets the perfect RNG to do the easy kill on 2.0 cast off. Now, all the bosses here are a little upgraded. Cast off, of course, fires 2 crystals instead of 1. Viper, he just hits harder. The vampires, their original form, their bodies don't have hitboxes, and Babel, their bodies do. So it makes it a little harder to do the aura glitch on them, which I will explain as Neo does that fight. Or he might use it here as well. We'll see what he does. Alright, well, he tried to... Oh, he got it a little bit there. If you attack and then... Oh, he took a death. It's just a little bit of a run back up. But if you attack and then immediately use aura, it saves your attack, and you can do repeated attacks throughout the aura animation, which is nice because you are invincible while you are using aura.
Les deux combats suivants sont un peu plus faciles.
Free hits.
Yeah, can't go wrong with some free hits. We got round 2 here with Viper. Let's see who comes out victorious this time.
Donc là, j'ai préféré.
Playing it a little more cautious. I do not blame him with that. And Viper goes down.
J'étais en train de finir mon animation de sortir de ma flaque. Enfin, de ma flaque. Mais comme j'avais lancé une attaque que j'ai cancellée avec ma flaque, et ben j'ai fait les dégâts jusqu'au bout et sans devoir.
Now there is a dark space at the top of this tower, and if Spin Dash happens to be there, he will really be kicking himself, because that's what he was probably hoping was at the end of Inca.
J'ai supprimé de mon inventaire l'une des 2 statues qui sont nécessaires à aller les combattre. Alors, sous cette forme-là, eux font juste plus de dégâts et ont une attaque qui normalement envoie.
Alright, we have Vampire Fight 2.0 here, and like I said, their bodies now have hitboxes, so you can't just run right into them. You have to time your aura glitch and your attacks a little earlier than you normally would. Oh, that's... Oh, okay. Whew, he had enough health to survive that hit. Being able to tank their strongest attack, that's a nice thing to do.
Verticalement avec lui.
And now the male vampire is just going to mess with Neo and not, stay anywhere near him. Looks like he's going to use an herb just to play it safe and try to... Oh, it's a good thing he did because of that laser attack just now.
Voilà. Vous avez vu pendant toute l'animation de...
Safety first.
Il a pris des dégâts, même pendant tout le temps qu'il me traversait. Ça simplifie un peu le combat. Mais bon.
Just the one hiccup on Viper, and other than that, things are going pretty smooth here. Now we have Sandfinger 2.0, or as we call him in the community, Trollfinger, because he has 3 different attacks that he can do. He can do a horizontal pattern, a vertical pattern, and an egg pattern. Now he's going to start off with the horizontal. Oh, there we go. We have our first egg pattern. With Shadow, he got some good RNG for that. He got 2 eggs right after a horizontal. You can't be mad about that.
Nope, that was a very quick fight.
C'est vrai que le boss a plusieurs patterns d'attaque. Il peut soit faire effectivement ces espèces d'arcs de cercle, enfin il rentre et il ressort dans le sol en faisant des arcs de cercle, soit il sort complètement du sol vers le haut.
And here we'll see that Viper has seen the error of his ways and decides to help us after we've beat him up twice. Yeah, typical RPG stuff. You beat them up enough, they turn to the side of good.
Et maintenant, c'est le boss qui va me faire le plus de mal.
Unless you're talking about Gilgamesh.
Donc là, je vais y passer un petit moment parce que j'ai vraiment peu de stats.
Yeah, Gilgamesh is a special person.
Un coup de mourir.
But here we have everyone's favorite boss in the entire game, Mummy Queen. Oh, and he's going to play it risky and run around the ghost instead of using Aura to protect himself. Oh, he had to use the Aura glitch there. Ooh. Neo cutting it real close.
Et elle a 2 patterns possibles à ce moment-là. C'est soit elle...
Alright, good. He used an herb. I was getting kind of scared for him because he was playing that just a little too risky.
Avec un seul fantôme qui est disponible. Et si vous touchez ce fantôme, elle se replace directement. Donc en général, on a envie d'avoir ce pattern.
Now, Mummy Queen has 2 phases. The first phase you'll see through her first half of health, which we've just now gone through. You'll attack, and then she'll split into all these little ghosts here. Now, she has 2 different things she can do. She can do this ring pattern right here, which she will do after she fires an orb or she just randomly moves around. Ooh. And, oh, she moved right on top of him. He couldn't do anything about it. Or she will go back and she can also do the ghost split. So, he's going to try the fight again. Hopefully this time, Mummy Queen plays a little nicer. We'll see. She tends to not, though.
Mummy Queen has never been a very fun boss fight.
No. She hits hard, and the fight does take quite some time. She's also making Neo burn through his herbs, so hopefully he's going to be alright here. The good news is that after he defeats her, he will get some stat upgrades, so there is some good behind this. And he'll also get Statue 6.
And the bosses he has to go back and take on in their original spots are going to be Mummy Queen, Viper, and Castoff.
Viper, Finger, and Mummy Queen 1.0, yes.
Les fantômes, en fait, dans cette forme...
Got her down to the last hit. Let's see who survives. Come on, Neo, you got this.
Je vais prendre mon temps. Pas prendre de risques. Là, vous voyez, il y a... Enfin... Voilà.
Ooh, alright. He gained a little bit of health there. He also gained some defense and some attacks boost from that, so I'm sure he's happy.
L'avantage, c'est que en contrepartie, j'ai quand même reçu beaucoup de stats. Parce qu'on peut voir mon total de stats.
And here we have the male vampire helping us out. You know, we beat him a couple of times, so now he's gonna be nice and help.
Surtout que le prochain donjon que je vais aller, c'est la pyramide. Il y a beaucoup d'ennemis qui font des gros dégâts. Et ces 3 points de défense.
Now there are other instances in the game where, well, like here, where text has been changed. There it says, "Hey, you've been busy, haven't you?" Anybody who's ever played Undertale will know where that comes from.
Dont je vais avoir besoin. Et je l'espère, le spin dash, mais ce serait trop.
Oh, I knew it. I called it.
At the top of that.
Oh, he's really going to be blaming me hard for this scene.
Qui permet de clear totalement la pyramide.
Oh, and after all that work trying to find the gold tile in Inca, just to have Spin Dash at the top of Babel. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll be hearing about that later in the Discord.
I think he's currently cursing you right now.
It's well deserved.
Crystal Ball et 2 hiéroglyphes. C'est tout ce qu'il me manque.
Ouais. Ah oui, c'est vrai.
Speaking of the Discord, if anybody would like to join the Randomizers Discord, I can post a link and feel free to join. There's plenty of people there. We all love, playing the game. We all love playing the randomizer. And it's always nice to see new faces in there. So I'll go ahead and post the link. And if you want to join, feel free to join.
Alors, pour ceux qui ne connaissent pas...
And I hit the wrong clipboard button. That's my fault. Let me redo that link.
Un événement justement sur cet oiseau-là où il parle de la constellation du cygne, je crois, si je dis pas de bêtises. Et que en gros, il manquait une pierre placée à un certain endroit. Et en fait, il fallait que vous alliez à l'endroit précis pour...
Sorry about that. There's the link that you're going to want.
C'est pas juste un endroit mis au pif.
So now with Spin Dash, he doesn't need any more abilities to complete the run.
Yeah, you really only need 3 abilities to complete the game. Friar, Slider, and Spin Dash. Now, the Rando can force you to use Aura Barrier like it did for Sky Garden. And in this case, it was needed because there was a hieroglyph behind room 4. You could use Earthquaker if you're not familiar with the skip and Angkor Wat. And it looks like we have a white screen now.
Do not panic. Whomsoever was in charge of Baguette has done the thing.
Là, faudrait espérer trouver...
I have a feeling that they were doing a window capture and accidentally switched the tab that they were capturing.
Yeah, you can see that mouse quickly working to get the situation under control.
On a un petit changement d'écran sur le restream.
Apparemment, on a un changement d'écran sur le restream. Ah bah yes.
Là, je veux aller à Euro.
And we're back.
Euro qui va me permettre maintenant d'aller poser la pomme. Donc, ma fetch quest qui ne me donne rien du tout.
And we're not.
And we're back again.
Donc, le deuxième objet que j'ai eu.
As I have said and heard in basically every marathon I've ever participated in, which is quite a lot at this point, it's not a marathon unless there's some sort of.
HP. Et maintenant, j'ai
Yeah, you can't have a marathon without technical difficulties.
quand même pas mal d'éléments dans la pyramide maintenant avec le spin dash.
It's just unheard of.
Ça va me permettre de poser les quelques objets que j'ai récupérés. Là, j'ai 2 hiéroglyphes de plus par rapport à tout à l'heure.
Now he only needs one more hieroglyph.
And the father's journal will tell him the order, but we know where that is. We know that's in Angkor Wat, so he just has to make his way down there.
Déjà, j'en ai récupéré 4 tout à l'heure, donc il me reste 8 objets dans la pyramide.
Looks like now that he has a few more stat upgrades, he's going to brave the pyramid once more. Good choice now that his inventory is a little more cleared out. He has more room. There's still quite a few items in here that he can grab.
On a 1 ou 2 objets en fonction du chemin.
He may go for room 3 first. We'll see.
Après Killer 6, donc le chemin numéro 3, j'ai une...
Looks like a little debate went on there whether he wanted to get the safety heal or not. Looks like he made the right choice. I would do the same thing and take a safety heal.
Mu n'est pas requis, mais il y a quand même au total 7 objets dedans. Quand on a tout...
And he goes for room 3, which has the Killer 6 at the very bottom.
And there was a hint earlier about what the Killer 6 are holding, was there not?
Yeah, there's a Hope statue behind the Killer 6. So that would, with that one in hand, he would have full access to Mew. I can grab all the items there, because he does have Slider.
S'amuse à me faire du mal. Et donc je suis dans la salle que l'on appelle Killer 6, qui est nommée par les derniers ennemis de cette salle. Donc là, on a ces sortes de boules qui tirent des lasers.
Alright, the first few spots aren't too bad to get down here. This next spot, there are 4 orbs that can... Oh, and he gets by them quickly. Very nice.
Ce ne sont pas les 6 dégâts que je leur inflige. C'est que au dernier interrupteur...
Now the only hard part left is the Killer 6. We'll see how kind they decide to be.
Ils sont alignés les uns à côté... Enfin, qui sont en quinconce, donc 2 lignes d'ennemis, 3 en haut, 3 en bas, ça en fait 6. Et tout ce qu'ils veulent, c'est notre mort.
Exactement.
D'où Killer 6. L'avantage que j'ai, c'est...
So, as Neo is making his way down here, he's looking for his go mode, a hieroglyph, the Father's Journal, one last mind key, and the magic dust.
Rester sur cette ligne du haut, tanker un premier hit, en tuer un, reculer.
Yeah, on a 4 statue completable seed, you'll end up more often than not full clearing the majority of the game. Ooh, the Killer 6 are not gonna have it today. Ooh, yeah, they're really not gonna let him have that item.
Ça fait très mal.
Well, his inventory is cleared, but he has no more herbs.
Je l'ai eu.
Oh, he got very lucky there. Down to 2 HP. Yes, he's going to be hugging that top wall to make sure he does not aggro those 2 orbs. Ooh,
La pire salle du
giving
jeu.
us a heart attack there, Neo.
Récupérer ma deuxième statue of Hope. Et maintenant, bah, qu'est-ce qu'on fait pour aller plus vite? Un Death Warp.
And that death warp back is a lot quicker when you got no.
D'ailleurs, je ne voulais pas ressortir de cette salle tout de suite.
Yeah, now he's going to be going back in, though, because there is one more item that you have to be will as to grab. You have to have spin dash for it. To hop over this little ramp here.
Cet objet.
And another red jewel.
Il y a des ennemis invisibles dans la pyramide, donc autant en profiter pour...
I mean, at least that was not a very long time to get that red jewel.
Ah, il avait plein d'objets, il avait son inventaire rempli.
No, it's one of the faster items to grab down in here, aside from the very first one that you can grab with Shadow in that little hidden room.
J'ai dû en jeter une tout à l'heure parce que justement j'avais mon inventaire plein et je voulais pouvoir récupérer des objets. Contre Killer 6, j'ai pris pas mal de dégâts. J'ai voulu faire le boss rush en ayant peu de stats, donc j'ai utilisé beaucoup d'herbes aussi là-bas. Donc de fil en aiguille, utiliser des herbes encore et encore, ben voilà, ça va très vite.
Neo gonna make quick work of room 6 here. We'll find out what item is here at the end, and then you should do another death warp and go for the other rooms. Oh, another red jewel.
Les salles qui me... On va dire qui me bloquent.
Like I said at the beginning, there are 47 red jewel items. 45 are individual, and then a 2 jewel pickup and a 3 jewel pickup. So we'll be seeing a lot of those. He's gotten through most of them. So we should start seeing more of the other items. Let's hope that he doesn't have to fight Castoff to grab an item from behind him.
Parce que pour la plupart des salles dangereuses avec...
I think I've already cursed him enough with the sea. Let's see if I can give him some good luck.
Qui me permet justement de devenir invincible pendant quelques frames.
I think the problem is that he doesn't know the RNGesus prayer.
J'ai avec...
That is a possibility.
Avec Shadow, j'ai l'aura, ce qui me permet...
Maybe after this Rando, he can be taught the prayer.
It's a very good use of spin dash there. Get through those spikes.
Donc là, vu que j'ai très mal...
Yeah, while in spin dash motion, you are invincible, so you can just straight run through there without getting hurt. Ooh, didn't quite get it in time though for that. And the spikes punished him for it. Well, there's his last hieroglyph tile. Now he just needs to go into Angkor Wat and grab the journal so that he can fight Mummy Queen.
Yeah, trying to do the hieroglyphs without that journal would be quite difficult with how many hieroglyphs there are. It's just way too many iterations that you could do. You just cannot trial and error.
Était considéré devant être faite à...
Yeah, that'd be way too many different combinations. Also, we're about to see something that the creator of the randomizer found while looking through some of the maps. If you jump in that area twice, it creates a pathway for Will to fall down. I'm not sure how many people knew that when they were younger, but if not, today you just learned. Yeah, somebody mentioned in chat, a hieroglyph in the pyramid is even a randomizer. But there's also, right here as well, you can jump down twice and create the pathway. I never knew about this growing up, and it completely blew my mind when it was discovered. Oh, well, there's the wind melody. So
Nice.
now we'll be able to see where that tile was.
Et c'était prévu dans le jeu, hein, même dans le manuel qui était donné, qui était
I think the only one that I discovered was the last one he did because of how many enemies are there. Just trying to attack them from above like an idiot as a kid, you'll accidentally fall or jump.
Manuel qui disposait d'une solution
Oui.
avec tous les rubis de feu.
très, très bien rempli, très bien expliqué d'ailleurs.
Yeah, I had always just assumed that shadow was needed for that room and never thought twice about it until it was found one day. But like I said, the creator was looking through the maps and, oh, hey, there are 2 pathways that can be opened by Will. I should also note that it can only be opened by Will. For some reason, it is Will specific.
Donc, avant-dernier objet de la pyramide. Encore un rubis de feu.
Are we almost through with the red jewels?
Yeah, we get just about there. And he still has 10 more jewels to find. I think 2 more for mansion access, but 10 in total.
He already has the 6th statue, so I don't believe he'll be going to the mansion unless there's a chance that there's more items there that he might need.
Yeah, there's 1 item in the mansion, and it could hold, it could hold a mine key, it could hold one of the Incan statues, it could hold the black glasses, which would give him logic access to the back of Angkor Wat, or it could have the magic dust. So there's still a few items out there that could be needed. It looks like he's going to finish off room 5 now. See what items at the very bottom.
Pour la plupart des runners du jeu. Parce qu'il est vraiment long comme donjon, il est aussi long que la plupart des donjons principaux. Mais tout en restant un donjon mineur. L'intérêt.
There's also 1 item down with Kara where she's being held prisoner. Sam, the laborer that you save at the bottom of the diamond mine, who normally gives you the memory melody, will give you an item in the randomizer as well. But since Kara is down there, the Super Nintendo works with sprite sets, and only certain sprites can be in an area. So, with Kara being down there, you can't necessarily have... Oh, Valor is correct. You mean your Frida can also go through the ground in room 2. Okay, so then it's just Shadow that can't do it. Alright. But, yes, with Kara's portrait being down at the bottom of the diamond mine, the laborers can't be down there because they're in a different sprite set. So, Hamlet ends up being down there, but Hamlet goes through a little bit of a palette swap, and we'll see that as soon as Neo has access. And we have named that the big brother of Hamlet, and we call him Samlet.
En sachant que j'en ai 7 dans le donjon. Donc normalement, ça devrait aller.
Let's see. Neo should be going for Angkor Wat now, which is my top favorite dungeon for this game. I also really like the music in it.
Ces 4 objets-là, je suis en go mode, je n'ai plus qu'à aller finir le jeu. Et ayant déjà clear les donjons associés, ça ira.
Overall, the game in general has a really good OST.
I mean, as with many of the SNES games, they have great original soundtracks, especially in the later games from 93 to 97. They just really, really, really ramped up what they could do with that sound set.
Yeah, they really started pushing the boundaries with what the SNES could do as far as with a sound chip, and they got some great sounds out of it.
I once watched a documentary YouTube video about how David Wise worked on Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 soundtracks, splicing together just very, very small samples of instruments to create the amazing work that he did in those. And a lot of people took from that you know form of doing things, because we had in Final Fantasy VI Nobuo Uematsu doing an entire opera.
Mais là, c'était le seul cas où je n'ai pas besoin d'ouvrir mon menu.
Yeah, that has to be one of the best SNES tracks out there. And to be able to create that with the limitations that they had back then says something to their innovation as musicians and composers. We have Neo opening up the shortcut here so that he has an easier way to get out. Oh, now we have the Angkor Wat Garden, which has the flies. The flies are the most evil enemy in the entire game. Their movement is completely random. They can just get in your way, and they hit pretty hard too.
Yeah, those aren't just flies. Those are murder flies.
Somebody in my Discord once called them Cambodian jungle flies because it's fair. Angkor Wat is in the Cambodia area, so call them the Cambodia jungle fly, and they are carnivorous. They will murder you without a second thought.
Murder you and feast upon your rotten flesh.
Something else that always appealed to me when I was younger about this game was the use of real-world areas. Even if Angkor Wat isn't spelled properly, you still know what it is. When you see Neo here using the upgraded Dark Friar to clear an enemy that would normally block your path if you were to walk straight up. You see, he also skipped grabbing an item. What he's doing right now is he's going for the second checkpoint that's here in Angkor Wat. This dungeon's so big, they actually put 2 checkpoints in here. He got that checkpoint so that after he grabs this item, he can death warp back out to that spot. He'll be his will, and he can spin dash through the rest of the area.
Et voilà le journal.
And there's the father's journal. So now we have access to Statue 5, or Mummy Queen. And I know there's probably a few people out there who like cheering for Mummy Queen to do her best to troll the runners.
sans avoir besoin de faire un détour pour un Dark Space.
Yeah, as stated earlier, this game is one of the, many, I guess, games in the SNES library that deals with some very, very mature themes and treats the player as more of an adult. Oh, and there's another Inca statue.
Je ne veux pas le jeu. Ne m'envoie pas au Gold Ship.
Yeah, if you do the
Non, pour l'instant, je n'en ai
full 100% clear of this game when you're playing through casually, there are a few dark moments. One of them being that you saw ratting out the hidden laborer. Will is a bit of a jerk when you really stop and think about it, because he's ratting out that laborer, the kid who's just trying to escape from what he's in.
Mais en pratique,
And when you fight Solid Arm in the mansion, it also tells you that he's the reason behind it all.
contenter de venir, d'avancer comme ça, et hop là, je revois. Parce qu'évidemment, il n'y a qu'une seule salle qui est bloquée, qui est totalement lumineuse.
Yeah. Even with as colorful as the game looks, it does have a bit of a dark story to it.
Yeah, it definitely does. And if the stream doesn't, cut out during the ending, you'll definitely see that there's a lot of, darker, heavier stuff going there. And oh, there's another, I think that's all the Inca statues.
Yep. He now has access to the gold ship. Let's see if he follows that trail of breadcrumbs or if he decides to nope out on that.
Mais pour le coup, ça réduit les possibilités puisqu'on avait besoin de quand même quelques objets par-ci par-là, mais
as you mentioned earlier with our lovely little pig friend, in the OG game, the pig does sacrifice itself to be a roast for starving villagers, and there's all sorts of lovely adult themes thrown in throughout, as you see in many other games of the era, because you have the Final Fantasy VI suicide scene, you have Earthbound with the sacrifice of, possibly never coming back from the final battle. There's just so many of these games in this era play around with, adult themes and treating a player, whether they're age 7 or age, 30 plus, as adults.
en sachant que plus on avance là et moins on a d'objets à récupérer entre guillemets.
Là, je vais juste.
A lot of NES games kept more to the just general way of, good guy, bad guy. Earlier, like Silver Age, superhero comics morality.
Parce qu'en sachant que juste après avoir fini Nu, je pourrais aller finir la Grande Muraille que j'ai laissée tout à l'heure. Et je pourrais ensuite enchaîner.
Yeah, with the SNES, they were given more resources and had the ability to better tell a story. So yeah, they had I guess you could say they had their fun with it, if you want to call it that. But we see that Neo has finally entered Mew. He was putting this off for a little while, most likely until he had a few extra stats to help him tank some hits here. Because these enemies also, they are not pushovers. They will come at you pretty hard. And we have the enemy that I hate the most, which got Neo there. I call him Wizrobe, because I don't like their original name.
Wizrobe, or I don't know, Little Grim Reaper.
Their name in the vanilla game is called a Flasher, which sounds a little off to me. They look and act more like Wizrobes, especially from Zelda 1. They teleport around, they shoot beams at you, they're just real jerks. So I call them Wizrobes.
And they hit you like a truck, just like a Wizrobe.
En sachant que tout à l'heure, j'ai hésité à...
And now here we'll see 4 of them show up. Now normally right here they'll say, the sun god Rama, the ocean holds a power, but that's been changed to, hey.
Ne m'apporte...
You know, can't have a lot of text in your rando.
C'est le Earthquaker. Et j'ai déjà passé les seuls endroits où ils pouvaient être nécessaires.
And now we'll see Neo coming up to the first little puzzle treasure chest here, and it just has a red jewel. And we'll see what's in the vanilla location for the Hope statue, and that's a strength jewel. So, not bad. And he was probably hoping for some more progression, but another stat upgrade is always nice.
And now he's only got, what, a few more red jewels?
Yeah, he's got 4 more to go. What he's doing here is he's going to take a death warp that'll put him back to the beginning, which will allow him to quickly put down the other Hope statue. And there's a hole in the wall and on this screen that will allow him to also quickly get to another area, allowing him to skip one spot because he has Slider already. So the Rando also allows for some nice route changes to what you would do in the vanilla game.
Un petit programme qui lui permet d'appliquer des modifications esthétiques au jeu. Donc principalement changer le skin de Will et changer certains dialogues. Et
he also got a hint earlier that the last crystal ball he needs is here. So after he gets that, he's just going to be looking for the magic dust. And a mine key. It looks like he's still missing one of the mine keys. So let's hope none of those happen to be in the mansion.
I mean, on the plus side, if they are in the mansion, it's not like he has to do the whole mansion.
No, he just has to make it to that one treasure chest, and then he can know about. He doesn't have to fight Solid Arm.
Sur la communauté du randomiseur, on a tendance à se plaindre d'une seule personne quand quelque chose ne...
All right, there's his crystal ball. He's got he's got 2 more locations to check. So we'll see what he finds there.
On va blâmer Bagou. Donc Bagou, c'est qui? C'est Don.
He's going to be thrilled if he finds a vanilla Rama statue here.
Celui sans qui rien de tout ce que vous voyez aujourd'hui ne serait possible. Du moins dans le cas d'Illusion of Gaia. Enfin, c'est c'est celui qui a lancé le projet.
No, just another red jewel.
At this point, he's not going to be collecting many more red jewels or herbs. It should just be stuff he needs.
Yeah, with that jewel, he should have 2 more to grab, plus one more herb. Which I'm pretty sure he was kind of hoping to save some for... Oh, that orb nearly got him. Luckily, Will's head is not counted in his hitbox, so he didn't take any damage there.
His head isn't counted in his hitbox. That's something that I never noticed.
Très bien réalisé, très compréhensible.
Yeah. It basically starts from his shoulders down.
Donc voilà. J'ai récemment rejoint l'équipe de dev aussi, mais mes contributions ne sont pas encore rendues publiques.
And a lot of these enemies only cover a one tile for their hit area, a light jewel. So, hey, he's got upgraded Psycho Dash now, even though it really doesn't matter because he has the other abilities.
Parce qu'il y a un mais, je viens de récupérer mon 48.
Hooray, useless upgrade.
Ce qui m'indique que
And now he's going to take a slow Death Warp and get out of here and go on to probably Chris.
avoir accès au donjon secret. Et ayant tout ça, je peux, normalement.
Of course, we could also do this as the mansion has one of his mushroom drops, which will allow him access to
Ce que j'espère ne pas voir.
the last mine key, and the magic dust will be on Samlet.
Là, le donjon, tout à l'heure, j'avais mis un peu de temps à le traverser. Mais maintenant que j'ai Spin Dash, ici, bah, ça va aller beaucoup plus vite. Je me contente de traverser la plupart des salles à toute vitesse.
So let's see if I curse him with that.
En plus, j'ai déjà activé.
But right now we have Neo making his way to the end of Great Wall to fight Trollfinger 1.0. Get this statue out of the way, then he will probably go after Viper. And then he might go into Cress or into the mansion, depending on what he feels like.
Je refais la même chose que tout à l'heure. J'emmène les statues derrière moi. Et cette fois-ci, j'ai plus de défense, j'ai plus d'attaque, j'ai plus de vie. Ça se passe plus simplement. Et au lieu de descendre, cette fois, j'ai utilisé Spin Dash.
Now, Sandfinger is a boss you're forced to fight as will.
Donc, le boss de ce donjon.
So all three characters, Will, Friedan, and Shadow, all of their damage is hard-coded when it comes to bosses. Will can only do 1 damage per hit, Friedan does 2, and Shadow does 3. So preferably, you'd like to have Shadow through every boss fight, but Sandfinger doesn't allow that. Oh, he's got a 2-egg cycle already. Let's see if he can get more. Oh, there's his third.
Zut. Je crois.
And then a vertical pattern.
Et Will qui a aussi une portée réduite par rapport aux autres formes. Donc c'est un peu plus.
We call Sandfinger Trollfinger because he has a higher chance of doing the other 2 patterns than the egg pattern. But he's giving Neo some fairly good luck, giving him 4 eggs so far. So enough to make any runner jealous.
J'ai encore une fois eu une augmentation de vie et de.
As you can see with one of the comments in there, Solar Cell 007 also being another Illusion of Gaia speedrunner.
I totally didn't get that from the fact that they're seeming incredibly jealous of them.
I may or may not be a little salty myself, but I'm getting more salt out of him, so the trade-off.
Like any good speedrun community, you always give each other.
Oh yeah, you got to keep it fun.
Avec ce 49e rubis, je pourrais aller faire.
If you can't pick on your friends, then who can you pick on?
En faisant ce manoir, je vais pouvoir récupérer.
Oh, Neo's going for cast-off now. Let's see if this pays off for him. My guess is that he's just really hoping that he doesn't have to go into Mount Cress.
Donc là, c'est vraiment. Je suis dans un état où je peux finir mes donjons. Là, je peux finir mes 4 statues. suis même à une statue près où j'aurais pu faire les...
Now, I didn't notice, but he's got 2 red jewels left, and I'm not sure if he found the 2 jewel pickup. But we're about to see where that gold tile was, so if you want to get your guesses in real quick, see where it was, you know, row and column, maybe we can get a good guess out there in chat.
Visuellement, quelle tuile sur quelle tuile je dois attendre 10 secondes. Sachant que si ça se trouve, c'est en fait sur la ligne du bas où j'étais pas le placé. Enfin bref. Et
Oh, it was the last tile, too.
I actually thought that it would have been one of the ones in the last area that he checked because he did not quite look like he was fully oriented where he needed to be on that one. And he might have ducked out at like 9.5.
Yeah, I think he skipped out just a little too early on the time for that because he was over to the right far enough that he should have grabbed that last tile. But yeah, I believe you're right. He just moved a little too early and it didn't count. Oh. Yeah, another thing he's not going to be too happy about. But hey, we've got it now. We're going to see what Castoff has behind him.
Je vais récupérer mon rubis, je vais aller finir Nazca. Ah, encore un petit problème d'échelle.
Neo showing that you can run past the trigger for this tile. And now we're going to make quick work of this Castoff with Shadow. It'll be an easy one cycle.
Il ne peut pas me tuer. J'ai beaucoup trop de défense et de vie. Et voilà, le combat qui est vraiment une formalité ici, quand on a la forme de Shadow.
After grabbing the statue in the item here, this also puts him at the Diamond Coast, so he can go from there to Viper and grab that statue as well. Oh, and it's just a red jewel. The gamble did not pay off for him.
Et aussi mon 11e et dernier.
More salt.
Dans quelques secondes, le temps d'aller parler à la reine de ce navire. Ouh.
It's looking more and more like the mansion might have an item he needs.
Et voilà.
Oh, the mansion does have a shroom drop. Oh, I think I did curse him.
Alors, ce mushroom drop, ça peut être
My co-commentator is the monster that rolled this seed.
aller dans l'endroit où on les utilise et espérer. Mais
To be fair, he did ask me to give him a number for this seed. So, am I fully at blame here?
I mean, no. He chose you. He chose his.
He chose the monster he wanted to roll the seed.
voici le manoir du joyau.
But now you see that we are in the mansion. It is a very laggy dungeon because there's just so much going on. But he has enough stats that he can easily handle himself through here. Oh, and there's that sweet, sweet lag.
Bon.
Alright, we're going to see him grab these drops and then come down here and do a death warp out of here.
Allez le montrer.
Oh, is he going to fight Solid Arm? Are we going to get a Solid Arm showcase even though he's already got Statue 6? Oh, we are. So for those of you who have never seen this, boss, this is Solid Arm. And he's going to go for the safe strat here. Yes. He does not have to fight Solid Arm here. He already has Statue 6, so he could have just death warped out of here, but he's going to be nice and showcase Solid Arm for all of you.
Solid Arm being a bonus boss and a fairly difficult one if you don't know.
Yeah, the strat you see Neo doing now was the original safe strat that was come up with back in the early days of the speedrun. And as you can see, you can still get hit by the orbs after you've killed him. The next strat that was developed was using the center conveyor. You move up just far enough that you can get 2 hits per block. Then there was another strat that was just recently developed by one of the newer runners of the community, Mr. Free, where you are standing in a pixel-perfect location where Solid Arm cannot hit you and you can continuously attack him. But that was Solid Arm, otherwise known as Metal Mantis in the original game Soul Blazer. And now we are going to fight Mummy Queen 1.0. So let's see how many people cheer for Neo and how many people cheer for Mummy Queen.
Go Mummy Queen! I mean, Neo.
Faire tout le tour
Oui.
quasiment du monde pour arriver jusque-là.
Oui, surtout que je venais de faire une sauvegarde et un retour au départ, donc j'ai été à côté.
I mean, we love to see the runner sweat, right?
D'avoir les stats nécessaires. Donc, normalement, on parle à ce PNJ pour voir l'ordre des hiéroglyphes.
I am totally not cheering on the Mummy Queen in revenge for the fact that I had very, very bad luck in a run for another marathon yesterday. It's almost like every time that you have a bad run, you wish for someone else to have one too.
I mean, you can't be the only one.
Le combat version originale, où elle fait un peu moins de dégâts, où j'ai plus de vie de défense aussi.
All right. This fight should go a little smoother. He's got a few more stat upgrades. This Mummy Queen doesn't hit as hard as her 2.0 version, so should be an easier time.
Elle a beau faire moins de dégâts, elle en fait quand même pas mal.
Neo again choosing to weave in and out of all the ghosts instead of using aura. And now one more hit, and now we are on the second phase of the fight. Let's see what kind of RNG she gives him.
Les blocs au centre, j'ai un repère pour me placer.
Oh, starts off good, but Neo just was not close enough to get that next hit in. She has to give him one earthquake attack in there. Oh, then we go back to the orb. So, all in all, not terrible RNG. I've definitely had worse.
La reine momie est décédée, ce qui me permet d'avoir ma 4e.
Now, he does have one more statue he needs to get, is that correct?
Yes, he still has to fight Viper to get that statue. He has all the crystal balls needed for that. He may be searching now for the last mine key and the magic dust.
Une position jusqu'à la fin, ça m'arrive souvent. Et évidemment, c'est là que va se trouver mon Gomod. Hein. Tous mes objets nécessaires seront là-bas. Mais on va pouvoir vérifier, est-ce que le Mushroom Drop... Enfin,
and here we have everyone's least favorite dungeon, Mount Crest or Mount Temple, which it looks like neither a mountain nor a temple, but let's not split hairs on the name. We weren't really sure what they decided with this dungeon, why they wanted to call it a mountain temple when it looks nothing of the sort. Just a bunch of vines and some shrooms growing.
I mean, I have my theories, and the fact that it's mushrooms and vines, it's part of the theory.
Enfin, c'est dommage parce que j'ai perdu du temps.
To quote Mr. Mackey, drugs are bad. Okay.
Mais si l'un des deux objets est tout au bout du donjon, ça met le fait d'avoir fait le Red Jewel n'était pas requis. Mais bon, pour le principe de ne pas refaire.
Yeah, the Mount Crest is on top of being, as you said, could be a drug-induced little vision for Will here. Is a maze dungeon.
It's a maze. It's got lots of floating skulls and spiders. It looks like some sort of.
Donc là, ce donjon, vraiment, c'est le donjon le moins aimé des joueurs. Hein. On se demande bien ce qu'il fait là. Pourquoi il existe. Parce que nous sommes dans un temple, sur une montagne.
Yeah. Now, let's see if the... Oh, there's his final herb. So he'll have at least one herb for the final fight here. So, was it required to go into the mansion? It does look like it because there's only going to be one item per mushroom drop now. Those were the only two free items you can get without having to use a mushroom drop. So mansion was required. Oh, I know he's not going to be happy about that one.
Ce qui fait qu'en n'ayant pas deux drops à l'avance, je ne peux pas récupérer 2 objets de progression dans ce donjon.
I was talking with him in the Discord earlier today, and he was talking about how he had a scene where, almost similar to this, where the mansion had a shroom drop that was blocking an item, and it looks like I ended up giving him, well, there's a Rama statue. And you can just see him discard it because statue 3 is not required. He wants something to do with those vampires.
Yeah, you got enough of the vampires in the refight. They and the Mummy Queen took most of his.
Yeah, they were not very kind to him.
Soyez heureux.
He was trying to do a spin dash strategy through there, but that floating skull just said, nah.
Alors, ici, je peux avoir...
So are we going to see a vanilla shroom drop here, or will we find the mine key?
Drop de champignons et de la poudre. Je dois forcément avoir tous les objets.
I bet
My
he's
guess
hoping
is
for
for vanilla, because it's been a very vanilla randomizer.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's hoping for that too, because otherwise, Samwhat's going to have... Oh, no. Uh-oh. Samlet was going to have the last shroom drop, which is going to have the magic dust.
Là, cette clé me permet d'aller finir la Diamond Mine. Donc,
And the magic dust is something that he needs for the final battle, I believe. Is that?
The magic dust is needed in the vanilla game. Ishtar gives you the magic dust to rescue Kara from the painting, and that's still the same in the randomizer.
je ne récupérerai pas. Parce que j'ai pas envie.
So, right now he's going back to Phrygia. He's going to go down to the diamond mine, and we will get our first sight at Samlet. And see what Samlet has for us. He's also missing the black crystal glasses. So if those happen to be here, then we're on the hunt for an item.
Tout au bout du mont Cress et de revenir ici.
The black glasses are not necessary right now, if I'm correct on that. Is that right?
Ouais.
Yeah, because he went to the back of Angkor Wat right now. The black glasses are needed for the bright light room in Angkor Wat.
La quantité de vie que j'ai, non, je ne ferai pas un Death Warp.
Now, given the logic, they should not be here. But we'll see if it is a shroom drop or not.
Et que la poudre soit donnée ici par ce gentil cochon.
Oh, I know he's hating me now. Oh, I know he does not. He's not too happy with me right now, that being a shroom drop. And then having to go back into Mount Crest to grab his magic dust to come back to Diamond Mine to rescue Kara. Oh, the backtracking.
Et aller combattre le boss de fin. À la base, j'avais prévu une surprise si je me...
And he's taking it well right now, but I have a feeling that you're going to be cursed out.
Et je tiens...
Still worth it.
Celui qui m'a fourni ce numéro de site vient de se faire un ennemi mortel.
I mean, I had to give him a good rando, for the showcase, and you got to put on a good show for the community.
That is true. You don't want to be given the most easy vanilla seed, or you're just not going to get the reaction and incentives met from the marathon.
Voici le retour de Viper. Enfin.
Yeah, you got to make it a good one. But here we have Viper 1.0, and pretty easy fight, especially now with all the stat upgrades. Just as he comes down, hit him with the flute, and rinse and repeat. He's an easy boss to dodge his attacks. And plus, you've got Will here, so you can do the jump attack to give yourself some iframes. And down goes Viper. So now he has all of his statues. Now he just needs to grab that magic dust and rescue Kara so that we can fight Dark Gaia.
Avec pour moi une crise existentielle. Pourquoi je joue à ce jeu? Pourquoi j'ai proposé cette run? Mais qu'est-ce qui m'est passé par la tête? Je devais être fou ce jour-là.
Ça permet de montrer aux gens un randomizer différent.
Also, make sure you're following this guy, Neo. He's a real good guy, does a lot of randos, real big in our play testing and the development community and helping us make the rando better. So if you haven't already, make sure you give the guy a follow. Like I said, he's a really good guy.
Il y a les allers-retours, il y a... C'est moins... Enfin, c'est tout aussi open world, mais c'est moins de déplacement rapide comme dans les deux autres.
Après, le jeu est le jeu est excellent hein, au niveau de.
So right now he's going towards that last mushroom drop spot. Gonna get that magic dust, and then he'll be on to the final.
Dans le rando. On en a très peu ici.
Yep. You have to grab the magic dust, and then you'll have to make another trip down the diamond mine. But hey, that gives us one more chance to see Samlet.
C'est pas toujours plus facile de faire le séquence.
He's become the mascot of the randomizer, and it was just a happy little accident that he even came to be, just because of Kara being down there and the palette swap for the sprite set.
Et bots, etc., on a quand même pas mal de choses qui se débloquent au fur et à mesure.
Et j'ai bel et bien.
Oh, it is the black glasses. So now we're playing. What spot did Neo miss?
Ouais. Alors.
Oops.
Au tout début du jeu, vraiment tout début, on va dire à un. Alors au début du jeu, le jeu s'est ouvert très vite. Hein, je rappelle, hein, j'ai eu accès à beaucoup d'endroits très rapidement. Et
were there at least one other chest in this area or no?
Quasiment.
No, he got all of them. Yeah, because he got this item here. So right now he's just going for the dark space here to go back to Phrygia.
Mais c'est un objet que.
Oh, I think I know where he missed it. I don't think he checked the bell tower in South Cave. Let's see if I'm right.
C'est littéralement sur un départ normal.
South Cape does have a lot of just random items locations, since it is technically where you begin in the vanilla game. You're going to see a lot of items that just show up there. Oh, and he's going to South Cape.
J'ai laissé de côté. Tout à l'heure, je suis venu ici. Je suis passé par là, je suis venu là, je suis entré dans l'école.
And he's going for the school. It's a church, but it's a school. And is it there? It was there the entire time. Now he can't be mad at me for that one.
He did forget to check that when he was here.
On appelle ça un brain fart, je pense. J'ai mon cerveau qui a dit non. Et résultat, voilà.
He just knew that everybody in chat wanted to get a second look at Samlet, so he did it this way on purpose.
I mean, that can be the excuse, yeah.
J'aurais pu finir beaucoup plus vite. Surtout si j'avais eu la poudre. Je serais allé, je pense, un peu plus vite dans le Mont-Cress, vu que j'avais eu un indice qui me disait qu'il y avait quelque chose là-bas. De mémoire.
So we'll get to say hi and bye to Samlet one final time as he rescues Kara. Now, I wonder if he will show the little Easter egg that happens after you rescue Kara. If you inspect the area where she was, it'll give you a song quote. And I wonder if he'll show that off.
Et donc maintenant, je viens ici.
I mean, it's not like he doesn't have time. The run before his ended half an hour early.
De Kara qui disparaît. Et je peux maintenant me diriger vers...
No, it looks like he's going to skip out on that. So just a quick little glimpse of Samlet down there. But if you were to inspect that spot after you rescue Kara, it says, "Hurry, boy, she's waiting there for you." So anybody who's familiar with the song Africa by Toto will know will start singing that in their head, and then guess what? Now it's stuck in there.
Do do
You
do
are
do
welcome.
do 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 do. I mean, it makes sense considering it's a diamond mine, and diamond mines are a typical feature in a lot of movies and pop culture about Apple.
Mais c'est faire le choix maintenant. Si je le fais ou pas. Parce que voilà, là j'arrive sur le boss de fin, littéralement.
C'est validé.
Yeah, there's a lot of those that just get thrown around in the randomizer, so it's fun to catch them when you do. But now we're going to go into the dark space here, and Gaia will ask us if we're ready to fight Dark Gaia. But he's going to take a safety save first, and then he's going to fight Dark Gaia.
C'est là, donc je vais fermer celle-là, démarrer cette seed-là, et charger la sauvegarde. Sachant que la seule différence entre les deux seeds, c'est que j'ai...
I mean, you can never end a randomizer too early.
Alors que je ne l'ai pas fait sur celle que je viens de montrer. Donc j'ai toutes les stats à fond.
No, it looks... Oh, he's going to show off the true final boss of the game. In the code, one of the Rando developers, by the name of Raven Zero, found what appeared to be extra phases for the Dark Gaia fight. And through a lot of play testing, a lot of rebalancing, and moving some sprites around, we have aptly named it Apocalypse Gaia. And after the normal Dark Gaia fight finishes, you'll see why it's called that. So, of course, we have the normal phase 1 here, which is the comet phase. Now, you hit it with FireBird, it spews plasma rain at you. So, nothing much different between phases 1 and 2. It's after phase 2 that the fun begins.
Pour nous pondre ce que l'on a appelé Apocalypse Gaia. Donc,
again, why not show off a exclusive thing to the randomizer, right?
La phase 2 qui va arriver une fois que j'ai fini de faire.
Of course, yeah, you got to give the people a good show.
À cette tête reste identique aussi. Mais la phase 2 qui est la dernière phase dans le combat normal n'est plus la dernière phase du jeu.
We also have the patch uploaded to romhacking.net if you want to give Apocalypse Gaia a try on a vanilla playthrough, or if you want to play it on the rando when you go to the site, which is iogr.app, you can change it from Dark Gaia to Apocalypse Gaia. So right here we have phase 2, which would be the last phase in a normal playthrough. You stand here, you shoot firebirds at Dark Gaia's face until her mouth opens up, hoping you can get at least 5 hits per cycle. If not, then you end up with a 4 cycle, which it looks like he's doing pretty good. See if he can get the 3 cycle.
Pas de problème.
He's definitely dodging those hits pretty.
Il y a 3 phases qui ont été débloquées, enfin qui ont été découvertes. Et
But I do have a feeling that last herb is going to be used for the apocalypse.
Le time se fera sur le dernier hit, j'imagine.
C'est ça, c'est sur le dernier hit de la phase finale,
Ok.
donc de la 5e phase.
Ok.
Et là, pas de...
Oh, 1 hit shy of 3 cycle.
30 secondes de perdu. Et...
So it's just a waiting game till that last hit shows up.
And it's also RNG.
Voilà. Gaia.
Oh, and there it is. And now we move on to phase 3. So we now have 2 Gaia heads with some crazy looking bubbles and some homing shots. So yeah, you'll notice the boss escalated a little bit here. And it only gets better from here on out.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Beaucoup plus costaud.
Alright, the first head is down. Now he's going to move over to the second one. Yeah, these bubbles, they're the same sprite as you saw in phase 2 with a palette swap, and they have a bit more of an aggressive attack pattern. They move a lot faster. And now it's phase 4. As you can tell, there's a lot going on here. You have plasma rain, you have the green, you have the green orbs. You also have a dark friar style attack. Yes, there is a lot that is going on for phase 4. This is the panic phase.
Alors là, j'étais très mal placé.
As stated before the boss fight, yeah, probably going to see that herb use.
Ça va être compliqué. Ouais, non, je vais pas y arriver. Bouge, 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 bouge. Ah, quoique, on va tenter. On va tenter.
Phase 4 down, onto phase 5, which I have named the cat and mouse phase.
Le jeu du chat et de la souris, parce que
The reason is because Dark Gaia here tracks your movement and your position and moves accordingly. So if you move up, she moves up. She does everything she can to get out of your way so that you cannot hit her. And after you do hit her, she retaliates by charging at you. You'll notice there are 2 orbs that float around the head. There's a green orb which will shoot a homing attack at you. And the red orb just attacks in a random pattern as it goes around. So you're constantly trying to block the green orb while dodging the red orb. Oh, he got so lucky right there. Now, you'll also notice, for those of you listening in on the music speeds up a little bit once you get to this fight. While not initially intended, oh no, the green got him.
There is no safety herb.
L'avantage dans le combat contre Apocalypse Gaia, c'est qu'on nous rend nos herbes et on reprend directement à la P3.
The good news is we were nice enough to add a checkpoint after phase 2. It also saves any herbs that you had going into the fight, into phase 2.
Okay. Well, then that is very nice.
It didn't start off that way, but we decided it would be better to do it like that because this fight can be very punishing, especially on the higher difficulties. Ooh, one of the bubbles managing to get a shot in on him. Not something you want to take damage from. And we're back to the chaos that is phase 4. Again, just a lot going on. Looks like he's going to be playing it a little safer, or at least trying to. Getting one hit in at a time, then just spamming the aura to reduce the amount of things that can hit him.
Zut. J'avais.
Oh, looks like some plasma ring caught him there.
Est-ce qu'on m'autorise une dernière chance ou est-ce qu'on s'arrête là?
What really mattered in life, what gave it weight, was death.
One of the many death quotes that have been added into the randomizer. Yeah, this boss fight is, even on normal, can be brutal if you're just not paying attention to phase 4. Phase 4 is where you will take most of your hits because of the amount of stuff that is just going on.
Encore un. On va peut-être la commencer un peu plus propre.
Trying to play it safe again.
There's no shame in spamming aura on this phase. It is a valid strat. There's so much going on. You can spam aura while the plasma rain starts, while the dark friar attack is going on, to get through a lot of the attacks without taking much damage.
Il suffit que je dise ça pour faire des bêtises.
The biggest killer here is greed. You try to get a few too many hits in, and it's going to punish you for it.
Apollo Greed is not welcome.
J'ai beaucoup plus de vie que la première fois que je l'ai atteint.
But he manages to make it through this time and has a lot more health than what he did originally, so we're already looking good so far. Now, let's just hope phase 5 is kind. Again, the music speeds up here, and every time you do damage to Dark Gaia, the amount of ghost heads that surround her increases every time. So you'll always see more enemies to get through before you can finally attack. And towards the end, it gets a little crazy. Nope, we had a random mouse on the screen.
For a second, I thought that was on my screen.
And as you can tell, Gaia will not come down from the top if you stand at the top of the comet. She will do everything she can to stay out of your range.
Plus que 2 coups.
Just a couple more hits now, and we'll be done with this fight.
This fight is way crazier than just the default boss.
Et time.
And that's GG for Neo.
Woo!
Le dernier essai a été le bon.
On a dû timer un peu tardivement sur notre truc, non, c'est bon? Incroyable, 2,42.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really glad he got to show off the Apocalypse Gaia fight. It's been quite the labor of love trying to get it to where it is now. It was really rough when we first started. We've polished it many times to get it to where it is now.
Final boss, on va dire.
That is a very cool addition for sure. And now that we have gotten to the end of the game, I mean, the ending of the story sees you being teleported to the present day of the world where, you know, concrete and civilization is taken over, and it really does show off how much nature's been taken over by technology, and tries to give a good lesson about, you know, striking that balance.
L'évolution de la communauté. Qui d'autre?
Yeah, it does try to impart a good lesson on you. Also, if you'll notice that the text at the end here is changed a little bit. You saw it's created by Don't Bagumi. He was the person who first posed the question last year in February. Raven Zero and Brian W are two of the big developers. Raven Zero did a lot of the ASM work with some other custom coding. He was also responsible for the Apocalypse Gaia fight. Brian W helped with the web client to get us online so that you can have a site to go to get your randomized seeds instead of an EXE. Appos, we call them, but Apocalypse Me is responsible for giving us our emo tracker, a patch, or pack, I'm sorry, not patch. And then we have many, many play testers, which you will see after this. But first we have to give Kara a little bit of bacon because she's worried about Hamlet.
Et oui, qui dans sa grande bonté lui tend quelques tranches de bacon. Et voilà.
Have some Hamlet bacon. Taste.
C'est la liste de noms qui va apparaître là dans le jeu.
That good, tasty bacon.
Toutes les personnes qui ont trouvé des bugs, qui ont playtesté le jeu, qui ont participé, pas forcément en faisant du code, mais en essayant le jeu, à l'évolution du randomiseur pour être ce qu'il est aujourd'hui. Sans toutes ces personnes, on n'en serait pas là. Alors je tiens vraiment à les remercier.
And now we get to the playtester credits.
Je vais pas lire tous les noms parce qu'il y en a beaucoup. Et pour ceux qui suivent,
You'll see see a few names in here.
vous allez voir des listes.
Ah, Glitchwitch. I know Glitchwitch.
Regardez le speedrun assez régulièrement.
Solar Cell. What? Psy? Who? Voller? Who?
Je crois que c'est tout.
Yeah, most of the people who have their names in the credits here are responsible for breaking the game at some point.
And most of the people in the credits are also in the chat.
Et puis bah, du coup, voilà, j'espère encore une fois que ça a plu aux gens et que ça a donné envie aux gens. Vous savez qui TP.
But that was the Illusion of Gaia randomizer.
Vous avez Neo.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, if you haven't followed Neo yet, make sure you follow him. He's a great rando runner. He also helped start the bingo cards for the randomizer. So if you're into the bingo format, then he's got that going for you.
How many vanilla spots are considered the
l'image pour que ce soit un peu mieux, même si on a quelques pistes.
That might be a good question for him.
À de suite.
Anyway, thanks everyone. You guys did great in chat with cheering on, and thank you to my co-commentary side. I've been Dizdon. Any more things to say about this?
Just thank you for allowing me to commentate for this. I had a blast with it. It was fun to commentate the trolley seed that I gave to Neo. And thank you to everybody in chat. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you very much for commentating that, Dizdon and Sai.
It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having us.